And, resources are so important when it comes to defending yourself, too. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I watched the OJ trial. And what $8 million can do is pretty extraordinary. You can have juries that are simultaneously going on. You're testing theories out while the trial's going. And, a lot of these guys that get charged with crimes, they kind of get ushered through the system. And, sometimes they'll get a good appointed attorney, sometimes they won't.
That one, to me, seemed like that was going to go that way anyway because of Rodney King. I don't think that had anything to do with being a good jury system or
that
whether
definitely...
or not the prosecutors weren't as good as the defense attorneys. I think that was just horse shit.
Kind of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, the way he's trying on the glove, like, get the fuck out of here.
He wasn't going to just slip it on.
It was a circus. But it was also a wake-up call to people that just because someone's guilty doesn't mean they get convicted.
True.
That you could see it that way, too. I remember watching that case, watching how they did it live on television, the verdict. And I remember being in my apartment going, whoa. This girl I was dating at the time, she started crying. She couldn't believe it.
I remember where I was when that verdict was read. I was shucking oysters at Barnacle Bill's on North Monroe when I was a student at Florida State.
Wow.
And I remember feeling like something really awful had just happened, but I understood it because of Rodney King, and I understood it not just because of Rodney King, because of what had happened to the community in Los Angeles that for decades had been abused by police. Now, whether or not one wrong begets another and whether that's rough justice, I don't even feel like I'm in a position to say. I don't think that there's ever been a more guilty person put on trial than OJ Simpson.
Pretty fucking guilty.
I mean, you have the victim's blood in your car, in your house. Well, I mean,
extraordinary.
Somebody gave me a copy of that book that he wrote, If I Did It, and my wife threw it out.
Did you even
She
get to
wouldn't
read
even
it?
let me read it. No. I never was going to read it. It's one of those books I was just going to put on the shelf.
I just watched the new.
What the fuck is that? There's certain books.
It's so wild.
You have somebody in your office, you go, look, somebody gave me this book. I'm not reading it.
It's so difficult because, one thing that always stuck with me about that case is and I won't mention them by name, the moral high ground that some of the lawyers involved have taken, on various social and criminal justice reform issues. And always in the back of my mind, I'd be like, you fucking defended OJ Simpson. What are you talking about? That's number one. And the second part of it is the human cost behind that tragedy also. I have these seared images into my brain of that Goldman family. The sister and the father, where they were very outward with their torment. And I recently watched I'm a sucker for it, I guess I'm admitting it, for the true crime genre, but I watched the latest documentary. There's a new one on Netflix. There's always a new one.
On OJ?
On OJ. And it's very well done.
It is.
And it's like 30 years later. And I know that there have been a few. This one is excellent. And, Kim Goldman is still, this ruined her life. And, on the flip side, you have these, when there's a wrongful conviction, that was, in my mind, a tragedy going the other way. But when there's a wrongful conviction, it's not just the people that are in there doing all the suffering. It's their families. It's their kids. It has a ripple effect where there is a community of people fighting for them. And I just wish I had some sort of magical power to pull these prosecutors into what that emotional tumult is like.